Welcome to Nachsimanim. I'm Jacob Thomas, and today we will be learning Shmuel aleph perek chaf chet. This perek begins where the Shunim are preparing for battle against Bnei Yisrael from Mount Gilboa, and King Shaul is completely terrified, and he goes to ask God, "What will happen? Will I succeed?" But doesn't answer him through the Urim Tumim. He doesn't answer him through dreams or through prophets. There's a terrifying silence from God. Now, in order to try to connect, Shaul, who was previously banished all the spirits, all the witches, all the sorcerers, goes and tries to find the witch of Endor, which is completely forbidden according to the Torah. And Shaul disguises himself. He asks the witch to summon Shmuel's spirit. And when she sees him, she realizes that the guest that she had was actually King Shaul himself, who would kill her for this had he known before this. But Shaul is in such a place that he asked a witch to bring up Shmuel. Shaul promises that he won't hurt her, and Shmuel's spirit is really mad for disturbing his rest and delivers his final prophecy. How God has torn the kingdom from Shaul and is giving it to David. And in this battle, Shaul and his sons will die, and Israel will be delivered into the hands of the Plishtim. Hearing this, Shaul, who's been fasting, collapses to the ground and is completely drained and terrified. Shaul's servants and the witch try to get him to eat. He says no, but they keep on pushing him. And finally, he eats. And he gets matzah, unleavened bread, and a calf. And he walks out to face his fate. As a recap, we have the desperation of Shaul because he has no answer from God when the Plishtim are about to attack. We have the disguise of Shaul to talk to the witch of Endor. We have the prophecy that Shmuel gives from the grave that him and his sons will die. And we have the final meal of Shaul after he collapses from this horrible prophecy. We're in perek chaf zayin, so just like Zichru, we use a really strong man. Chaf zayin, koach, strength, strong man. The really strong witch pulls the spirit of an old man from the grave for King Shaul. This reminds us how Shaul went to a witch because God was stopped talking to him right as the Plishtim were going to attack him, leading Shaul to be really, really afraid. He goes to the witch, gets the witch to pull Shmuel from the grave in order so he can talk to him, leading Shmuel to give his last prophecy of the destruction of Shmuel, the destruction of Shaul, his family, and the kingdom that David will get. This leads Shaul to collapse to the floor. One more time with the simon. The really strong witch pulls the spirit of an old man from the grave for King Shaul. We're going to do a 4 perek back chazar, starting with perek chaf dalet, in which we use a jar. David is about to kill Shaul, but instead spills a jug of water on him. This reminds us how David was in a cave in En Gedi. Shaul was attacking him. Shaul decides to take a nap in said cave. David goes with his sword to Shaul, about to kill him, and instead takes off a piece of garment, which he still feels really bad for. Perek chaf hey, in which we use a 25th anniversary dinner. Abigail stops the angry David from popping the balloons at their 25th anniversary dinner. This reminds us how David has historically helped Naval's sheep be protected. He goes to Naval during the time of the shearing, asks for food. Naval says no. David goes with a bunch of men because he's really bad at Naval to try to kill him. Abigail comes with a bunch of food, gives it to David, stops David in his tracks, make sure David isn't mad. David thanks her for making sure he didn't kill an innocent person. Later, Abigail comes back, tells Naval, who gets sick and dies, and then Abigail marries David. Perek Chafei, which we use a military coup. David sneaks past the military coup to steal the king's spear and jar, proving that he spared his life. This reminds us how Shaul was attacking David again. He got 3,000 soldiers to attack David. During the night, they all fell asleep through God's hand. David and one of his soldiers, Avishai, comes and sneaks past the military coup to the king. David is about to kill David again, but instead just takes a spear and jar to prove that he didn't kill him. Then yells out to the soldiers, "Hey, why didn't you protect your king?" Perek Chaf Zayin, in which we use a kazoo. David plays the kazoo in celebration of joining the Plishtim army. This reminds us how at a certain point David is tired of running away from Shaul and decides to join the Plishti people and goes to the king of Achish. He gets the city of Tsiklag and starts to pretend to attack Jewish cities to build trust to the king, when in reality he's attacking Plishti cities. Okay, we're going to do a multiple question Chazara. In which perek does Shaul talk to the witch of Endor? Perek Chavchet. In which perek does Eli HaKohen mistake Chana for being drunk? Perek aleph. In which perek is Shaul searching for his donkeys and meets Shmuel? Perek tet. In which perek do Bnei Israel hide in caves from Plishtim? Perek Yud Gimel. In which perek does the Ruach Hashem leave Shaul while an evil spirit torments him? Perek Tet Vav. In which perek does David refuse Shaul's armor? Perek Yud Zayin. Oh, sorry, this was Perek Tet Zayin. The Ruach leaves him, and David refuses Shaul's armor. Is Perek Yud Zayin. Sorry about that. In which perek does David escape to the cave of Adullam? Perek Chavdal. In which perek does Hashem strike Naval, leading to his death? Perek Chavhet. Shoftim bonus question. In which perek do we have Yiftach's tragic vow? Perek Yud Aleph. That is it for today. May we be zuchet to finish all of Nach, one perek at a time, and remember it day after day. Have a wonderful day.